We are all on a journey. Everybody is going somewhere, sometimes seizing opportunities with new ideas and moments of brilliance. Innovators, leaders and visionaries. These are the people we don't forget. And what of our own community? For Elliot Osran, his 5 decades of communal involvement has been a journey of extraordinary service and inspired vision, and the Cape Town Jewish community has been transformed because of it. But what drove Elliot? What was the inner spark that set him on this amazing life path? His wife Myra, who shared his commitment and love of the community, recalls.
Elliot came from a very small town in the country, Mossel Bay, where there was hardly a Jewish community. He had no formal Jewish or Hebrew education. And then his children went off to nursery school, and they came home singing Hebrew songs and chanting Manish Tana. And he was smitten. I mean, from that moment, he was so in love with the Jewish day school movement. That's how it really started.
However, not everyone shared Elliot's passion, and most families did not send their children to Herzliya.
In those days, over 60% of Jewish schoolgoers were at government and other private schools, and Elliot went around addressing countless meetings with one compelling message: send your children to Herzliya.
As a result of his success, a primary school was soon needed in the southern suburbs, and later a middle school at Highlands, for which Elliot led ambitious fundraising campaigns. But the need for funds do not end with the building of a school. Realizing that many parents couldn't afford the school fees, he led the establishment of the all-important remission fund, now called the Herzliya Foundation.
Isn't it amazing that today, with 2,134 kids in our schools across all our 10 campuses, we have 85% of all Jewish children in Cape Town being unified together under one umbrella. And what a wonderful tribute it is to Elliot Osran.
Chairing first the United Communal Fund and then the Israel United Appeal, Elliot introduced many fundraising innovations which are still in use today. Rating cards, telethons, personalized postal campaigns.
Many years ago, Elliot envisioned a single fundraising entity for Cape Town, combining IUA, UCF and welfare into one entity. That model has endured to this day and is admired by Jewish communities throughout the world.
Even as a big project that say 5 or 10 million rand, Elliot would deal with it with his sensitivity, with his calmness, with his trademark smile and chuckle. And for example, once when he did a project for Herzliya and he raised 5 million rand, after that he slammed his hand on the desk and he said, "Damn it, that was way too easy, I should have asked for more." That was Elliot.
Elliot also had the vision many years ago to ensure that wealthy families create charitable trusts during their lifetime. So even if they did leave the country or even after they had died, the community would still benefit from their wealth.
Elliot also motivated these charitable trusts to support Telfed, the South African Zionist Federation, and its important role of assisting former South Africans living in Israel. Elliot's concern for the entire Cape Town Jewish community led to his involvement in the welfare organizations. Over the past 2 decades, Elliot has raised millions to upgrade and improve facilities at Highlands House. Astra Centre, Jewish Community Services, Cape Jewish Seniors, Meals on Wheels, Glendale, and Aranja Children's Home all have benefited from Elliot's fundraising efforts, strategic brilliance, and incisive leadership. In a skillful and challenging move, Elliot managed to convince the 9 welfare organizations to combine their annual subscription campaigns into one, which proved to be a resounding success financially.
When one sees the need in our own community, one wants to give. And I think Elliot's way has helped to create the channel for this giving.
Elliot was also concerned about the financial future and sustainability of our institutions.
Elliot's vision was to ensure that all our Cape Town organisations had sufficient capital funds to sustain themselves into the future. And today, collectively, all our organisations have a little in excess of 500 million rand in capital funds, which is truly remarkable.
Elliot played a leading role in almost every aspect of our community. But with a deep sense of humility, he was ever mindful of those individuals who many decades ago had laid its very foundations.
Those communal giants had wonderful foresight, and in the process, they've allowed us, the subsequent generations, to build on their foundations and establish what I think is the greatest Jewish community of its size and many bigger in the world. Something we can all be immensely proud of, and something to which so many of you contribute in so many ways.
In addition to the many hours he devoted to the community, Elliot also had a very successful professional life, both as a lawyer and businessman.
I was associated with Elliot in business for 2 decades plus, and it was very, very clear that he was an incredibly effective leader. But Elliot knew something else, which was that to be an effective leader and to be good in business, you needed to be a great team player. And he was exactly that. People loved working with him, they were inspired by him, and that made the difference. He really cared, and that made him a marvelous friend. As important a role as community and business played in Myra and Elliot's lives, all one had to do was observe them with their family, their children and their grandchildren, to know that it was they who were the center of their universe.
At a special community function to mark his 50 years of service to the Cape Town Jewish community, Elliot had this to say.
If I've got to sum up Myra and my attitude to this community and to community life, I think I can do no better than to quote Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you'll be surprised. Let me quote what he said. I guarantee you will discover that while public service improves the lives and the world around you, its greatest reward is the enrichment and new meaning it will bring to your life. Enrichment and new meaning to our lives is what our role in this community has meant to us. Thank you.
Elliot Osron passed away on the 15th of February 2017. The large number of insertions published in the Jewish and General Press paid moving tribute to this inspiring leader and great visionary.
Elliot's death has left a gaping hole in our community. After much consideration and in consultation with the family, it was decided the most appropriate and effective way to honor Elliot's legacy would be to create a leadership institute.
Through my experience of many years in dealing with the Cape Town community organisations, I see that many of them have severe challenges in creating leadership for the future. It is therefore imperative that individuals will be equipped with the right skill set and knowledge to enable them to play significant and hugely valuable roles now and in the future.
With our goal of future-proofing the Cape Town Jewish community financially, the Foundation is most proud and gratified to be involved with the Elliot Osron Leadership Institute and supporting its mission of future-proofing our community through people power.
Through my roles in various communal organisations, I've experienced people who serve our community in their unique way, and I've come to realise that everyone is a potential leader. At the Elliot Osron Leadership Institute, we will have the opportunity to develop and inspire both those who've already stepped up to lead, as well as those who haven't yet recognised their inner leadership capabilities.
There's actually an air of expectation as Cape Town joins the global trend of offering Jewish leadership programs of excellence. And having researched local and international leadership models, both general and Jewish, we have customized a program to meet our needs. The scope will in fact cover in-depth knowledge of our community and our organizations, self-reflection and development, and ethical leadership and best practice. And participants will be exposed to theory, practice, projects, and peer learning, as well as coaching and mentorship. We foresee that the Institute will become an active hub and an incubator of leadership programs that reflect Eliot's legacy of inclusivity, compassion, mentorship, community cohesion, and financial discipline, all of which he will be remembered for.
Our family is most gratified at the encouraging response to the establishment of this Leadership Institute in my father's name. We know he would have endorsed with much enthusiasm such an initiative that will strengthen the community that he loved so much.
Through nurturing our institutions and enriching lives, Eliot Osron made a profound contribution to our community. Now the journey continues as we pick up the baton and set out to build on his legacy today and for the generations that follow.